I want to touch upon an interesting or important topic named as bias and variance. Okay, so we are building the models, and of course we want the models to be very, very successful, or the models to be as correct as possible. And it turns out that the models, like any other student, actually want to succeed. So they want to get a 100% accuracy. And in its pursuit of getting this 100%, what it ends up doing is it ends up memorizing the data to some extent. Okay, so this particular tendency is called as overfitting. Okay, which you can think of following the data blindly. And one fallout of this is that if you give him unknown data, okay, it cannot really predict well on that. Okay, so this is one of the issues the machine learning model suffers from. Okay, so overfitting is one of the important design issues for any machine learning model. So one very simple technique what we apply is actually splitting the data into two sets. Okay, a training set and a testing set. So what you end up doing is that you actually train your model on the training data. Okay, so that's why it is called as a training data. And then you evaluate the model on the testing data. So even if it gives a very good result on training data, because it has memorized, by looking at his particular performance on test, you can understand that it is not doing well. Okay, so that's the philosophy of breaking into training and testing. Now you have understood that there is a training set and there is a testing set. Okay, so let's say there is one set of machine learning model, okay, which denoting as M1. So when I say one particular set, so what I'm trying to tell is, let's say this is a decision tree model. Okay, this is a decision tree model. And let's say this M2 is a KNN based model. Okay, this is a KNN based model. Now, what we have done is we actually, when we have split it into training and testing, we have taken three kind of sample. One is S1, one is S2, and another is S3. So these three we are using as training sample. So this is one very, very important thing for all of us to understand, is that as we are talking about training and testing, so basically we are splitting into two parts, and that has to be randomly done. We cannot do it really sequentially, though the diagram maybe have shown like that. Okay, so we actually need to apply sampling and break into training and testing. Okay, so you can understand that if it is a random sampling, that sample I will get and the sample you will get will be different. And if these are different, the models I'm going to prepare are also going to be different, right? So even if I'm applying decision tree, the parameters that I'm getting for decision tree on a sample S1, which is nothing but a particular type of training set, okay, will be different from S2. Okay, so what I have done is I have just kept one particular observation out, okay, which I have not included in either of S1, S2, and S3. So this is the setting. And I am now, I have this model 1 trained on S1, model 1 trained on S2, and model 1 trained on S3. So the actual value for all of them were 5. What are the corresponding predicted values? The predicted values were like 4.5, 5, and 5.5. Okay. So this is one case. And in another case, the values I'm getting is in another set of models, which I was telling as KNN, I was getting like 4.3, 4.8, 5.3. Okay. So a question here is that which model is better? Can I tell that M1 is better or M2 is better? So one simple intuition is you will look at the average. Okay, you will look at the average. And when you look at the average, you will see that the average over here is 4.5 plus 5 plus 5.5. So the average is 5. And in this case, it is 4.3 plus 4.8 plus 5.3. So average is 4.8, right? So here average is 4.8, which is actually 0.2 away from 5. And here it is exactly 5, right? So you can say that this model on average is better than this model. This particular, this particular concept is called as bias in case of machine learning. So whatever is the deviation in your average prediction, that is your bias. Okay. So you will say M2 has more bias than M1. Okay. And you can think that this is just average of error. Okay. So this is bias. And there is another thing, which is if you look at this particular model, and I ask you the same question that which is better, M1 or M3, you will say that you might be confused from what we have discussed so far. Because if you look at the average here is 5. Even the average here is also 5. Right? So how do I break out and say which one is better? Okay. So I will probably look at that how much variability is present there. So here the range is 4.5 to 5.5. And here the range is between 4 to 6. Okay. So in this case, I will tell that, M3 has more variance than M1. So that's the reason M1 is a better model. Okay. So these are actually traditionally two important components of errors in machine learning. One is the bias, which is actually the average deviation, and the other is the variation in the prediction or variability in the prediction, which is called as the variance. Okay. All right. Now, people have studied and seen that in general, more flexible methods have higher variance. So what do I mean by more flexible methods? So if you are thinking of a neural network, right? So if a neural network has more number of layers, then that is a complex model. So if one has a 3 layer and another has a 2 layer, so the one that has 3 layers, you will say that this is more complex. Okay. And even between models, you can compare them and think which one is simple and which one is complex. Okay. So it turns out, as I said, that more flexible models have higher variance and they also have lower bias. So they tend to be quite close. They tend to be quite close to the actual value. But if you train them on different samples, within that, the variation of this model trained on these different samples is high. Okay, so that's why you call them as higher variance. And there is a very common, common curve or common diagram that you will see where the total error is represented in terms of variance and bias. So you might be asking me that why you are doing a square of bias. So if you refresh a little bit about your statistical knowledge, so variance is always a squared term. Okay, so you take a value x, okay, and you take the difference with the mean, okay, and then you do a square. Okay, so this is the variance. Okay, and as this is in squared term, you make the bias also in squared term. Okay, and if you see that on the right hand side you have the model complexity. So as the model complexity goes up, the bias actually goes down. But so this is the red curve, but this blue curve actually goes up. Okay, and the total error is actually sum of this. So if you add up this red value and this blue value, or the value coming from the red curve and the blue curve, you will get this black curve. Okay, so this is called as the total error. And you actually want to find out in machine learning, you want to find out a particular model complexity where your error is minimized. Okay, so this knowledge will be necessary when we'll be going into ensemble. So hence this context setting.